Hi and welcome. My name's Wayne. I'm glad you're here. And just getting my cup of coffee ready to go. As I always like to start these videos with a cup of healthy coffee. And then we'll go and sit down and we'll continue on with this channel's theme, and that is to help you discover the gift you were born with, that you naturally have but was robbed from you right from birth. Because there are two realities out here. We live in two realities. We have the official reality that we operate in, go to work in, believe in, look for our joy and happiness in. And then there's the true reality. Anyways, let's go sit down and talk about it. All right, here we are. So there's the true reality and there is the official reality. And the official reality you're all too familiar with. You know it like the back of your hand because it's what you believe in and you operate in all your life. But the true reality is what you've been denied. And it's the true reality that allows you to create an extraordinary life for yourself. Now, I've already talked about, just one second, in my first two episodes, because this is episode 3, I've already talked about how the entire universe, this reality entirely is electromagnetic energy. And atoms just give structure to this energy. Atoms are like, super dense, packed snowballs of electromagnetic energy, but it's all electromagnetic energy. And I've discussed how there had to be an infinite intelligence behind the creation of this reality, because to believe that from the Big Bang, which science says is the way this universe was created, was from a big explosion, a Big Bang. And the reason why they say that is because they can observe that everything is moving away from each other, and the speed at which they're moving away from each other at is increasing. So it's the remnants of a Big Bang. And so to think that from a chaotic, huge, massive explosion, such as that would be needed to create this universe, that every atom fell into its perfect place to create this wonderful, magnificent reality that has got beauty everywhere, from the deepest depths of the oceans to the tallest mountains on this planet, and then looking up into the stars at night, there's just beauty everywhere. You cannot believe that that has happened just by chance, random chance. There had to have been an intelligent design behind this to have everything fall into its exact place where it was needed to be and to operate in harmony. Because if you look at it, this reality, this universe, it works in perfect harmony. And it doesn't have any waste, and it has a regeneration mode. Everything recycles and regenerates and creates more beauty over and over and over again. And there is no waste. It works in perfect harmony. The only thing that doesn't work in perfect harmony at infinite time is us, human beings. So it can only make logical sense. Put 2 and 2 together is going to equal 4. Well, you can put the fact that an infinite intelligence did create this reality, and we're unique in this reality. So infinite intelligence through us has created this for us, and we are the manifestation of this infinite intelligence. And the reason why I figure, and it's very obvious again, is that infinite intelligence created this beautiful, magnificent reality. How would it improve upon it other than to give us the opportunity to experience it and then find our own ways of improving it to make it unique to our own likes and dislikes? And more so likes than dislikes, right? We want more of the good and less of the bad. And that's kind of like a clue here as to how our lives unfold. Because we were born into this world, thrusted from our mother's womb and taken into custody by the official reality and society and our parents. And it was all done in love and gratitude, but unfortunately, they too didn't realize their gift and their power, even though it's staring at us in the face. I'm not a big fan, as I mentioned in earlier videos, of religion, but I do love to read books. And I've read a lot of books, and I'm an engineer, electronics engineer, and so, reading books and studying science is a big thing of mine. I never once had the urge to read the Bible. But you know what? I thought, well, if this reality is the way I believe it is, electromagnetic energy and how it conforms to our wishes rather than we having to conform to it, does it mention this anywhere in the Bible? So I picked up a Bible and started reading it, and lo and behold, right in the very first story of creation, it talks about how, first there was light. God created light. And I'm like, wow, yeah, because that's what this entire universe is light. Now, light is electromagnetic energy, so scientifically, it's a match. And then after creating the light, God created the firmament. And what's firmament? Well, firmament is the stuff from which God created the waters, the land, and the heavens above. Wow, firmament and atoms are the same thing. What's the three states of matter of an atom? Well, it can exist as a liquid, as a solid, and as a gas. Oceans, lands, and heavens above. It's another match. So I'm like, wow. So now I got really hooked on, let's read this Bible some more. So there's lots of great information in the Bible. Now, a lot of it seems to be encrypted, and turns out there's like 40 versions of the Bible. So it's been kind of corrupted a little bit by the institutions of religion to massage it, to censor it, to change it to fit their needs and desires. So I don't have a whole lot of faith in any one particular Bible, but there are lots of golden nuggets in there that make a lot of sense with the true reality that I'm revealing to you. For instance, in the Bible, it says we were created in God's image and likeness. Well, what does that mean? Well, and again, I'm using God. It has infinite intelligence. Infinite intelligence is God. Same thing. You can call God infinite intelligence whatever you want. Call him Ralph. Call him Julie. Whatever. And using him or her is not really correct either, but it doesn't seem appropriate. So, just pick a name and stick with it. I'm going to go with God because we already know what God's all about. And if that offends you in some way, then you really want to pay attention, because it shouldn't. God is benevolent. God, this infinite intelligence is benevolent. How else could it have created such a wonderful, magnificent reality out of electromagnetic energy? And simple, very simple, but it has to be benevolent to create all this beauty everywhere. And then to put us in these avatars we call our bodies so that we can experience this magnificent beauty and improve upon it for our own personal taste, tweak it and make it personal to us, is magnificent in itself. And so that is kind of like the secret to how we can create an extraordinary life for ourselves, is we need to understand that we do have that ability, that gift to be able to tweak and maneuver and mold and shape our reality to our liking. Now, how do we do that? Well, it's really simple. However, it's not just mere words, just saying, oh, I wish I could win a lottery is not good enough. In fact, trying to win a lottery is probably never going to be good enough, because millions of people want to win a lottery, and so the competition is quite high, and so you're going to have to wait in line if you're going to just sit there on the couch and focus on winning a lottery and go out and buy tickets every week. It could take a long time. It may not take a long time, but that's how this reality works, is that it will respond to your thoughts and emotions, especially emotions. This electromagnetic energy doesn't speak universally in all the languages. You know that there's 7,100 different languages on this planet? 7,100. Now, half of them are rarely used and probably going to go obsolete at any time, but still, that's lots of different ways of expressing our emotions. And it's emotions that create our vibration. Now, I mentioned there in the last video, episode 2, how we are vibrating creatures, and we know we are because if we ever get any kind of fantastic news that is extremely happy and joyful, or some really horrific news that's really sad and very, very disappointing, like the loss of a partner or something, you can see people or yourself are visibly shaken. And that's when we're at those extreme emotions. We are visibly shaken, so we know we vibrate. Now, during normal course of the day, we vibrate at different frequencies because of our emotions. And there's the reason why our lives turn out the way they are. Well, that's the reason why our lives are like a roller coaster, because we have a roller coaster of emotions. So take control of your emotions and you'll take control of your life. And it's even a little bit more than this. Like, there's so many different ways I can go off on this subject. You got the conscious mind and you got the subconscious mind. But I'm not going to get into that yet. Maybe that'll be the next video. But I want to talk about this emotional stuff a little bit more to show you proof of what I'm talking about is real. We're going to go on my phone and let's have a look at this, all right? What I want you to do, and you can do the same thing. So I want you to Google, and I've already got it up here, as you can see, at the very first line, emotional rice experiment. Now you can Google it with different words, rice experiment showing emotions, whatever you want, but you get the word emotions and rice together and you'll come up with this. So let's just go there. And there is lots of experiments people have done, but the one here I'm going to focus on was Dr. Masaru Emoto, who is the first person that actually discovered this. But what this is, in a nutshell, and you could do all your research you want, okay? There's all kinds of them here. But what this is, in a nutshell, is Dr. Emoto took 3 jars of rice from the same source. So you got, and when the same amounts and everything, like he measured it all out, it was done scientifically. In one jar, he put the label joy and happiness on. In the second jar, he put hatred and anger on. And the last jar, he just left alone and ignored. And then over the preceding weeks, every day, he would go to the jar that has joy and love and emotion and praise it and give it love and say how beautiful it is. And then he would go to the other jar, and these jars are sitting right side by side, okay? So he directed his love at this jar. He directed his anger at this other jar that was labeled anger and hatred, and said how ugly it was and how horrible you are and you're worthless and like all that kind of emotions, negative. And then he ignored the third one. So he really only focused on those 2. One got all the love and joy every day from his mind, and the other one, and voice, but emotions are more important than words, but the 2 of them together are powerful, right? And he gave the other one hatred and greed and anger and negativity. You know that over 3 or 4 weeks, the rice that was getting nothing but love and praise stayed fresh looking and very, you could eat it. While the rice that got the hatred and anger was decaying and moldy and ugly. Like it became what the words and emotions were projecting onto it. And the third one was just normally rotting as it would just naturally, like all life will, all right? The point is that the emotions controlled the environment outside of them. My emotions control my world around me. Your emotions control your world around you. Now, just imagine, these avatars are 90% water or 70% water, whatever. But can you imagine the cause of disease and what have you could be possibly created by the emotions that we're clinging on to every day? What emotions do we, or do all of us hold dear to our hearts? Now, it's not just the surface emotions. This is going to get into another subject for another day, but I'll just say this, and you can do your own Google again, and maybe let's go on the phone and just do it, and then I'll give you some homework here. And it's not really homework, but it's just research. But let's go back onto Google again, and let's Google, go get rid of the emotional rice experiment, and now let's Google how much of my life is controlled by my subconscious, okay? And hit enter. And estimates suggest, oops, we're getting down the time, I'm out of time. Estimates suggest that subconscious mind encompasses 95% of your brain activity. Well, do you even know what's going on in your subconscious mind? Likely not. But yet that has that much control over your life. You hear your conscious thoughts all the time, but only 5% of your life is actually controlled by your conscious thoughts. Anyways, I'm running out of time. My video is going to cut off. I got a 15-minute timer. We'll continue this on, but check those two things out, the emotional rice experiment and how much of your life is controlled by your subconscious mind. Do some research, and then we'll carry on tomorrow. All the best, and thank you for watching. Bye for now.